Check 1, 2. Testing.
Good evening, everyone. Can everyone please take their seat?
Test 1, 2.
I'd like to call the meeting of Thursday, October 18th, 2024. I've got this as loud as it goes. I don't know what's wrong. It was working better last week. So I'm calling to order the meeting tonight of Thursday, April 14th. This is the open workshop meeting. I'm calling this meeting to order. Will everyone please rise for a pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May I please have a roll call? It's not working.
Tom Clark,
Here.
Jay Respler.
Yeah.
Karen Schoenberg, Kathy Dodano, Surjeet,
Yeah.
Bob Brown,
Here.
Joe Anastasio.
Here.
All right, so everyone may be wondering why we're sitting in a V shape here tonight. This is a workshop meeting, so by that it means generally the board gets together and we discuss the items we want to put on for action. And so in the right setting, we would all be sitting together, facing each other and discussing the issues through and deciding what was going to be put on to the action meeting. So this is trying to give us that format that we're looking for. So you could actually see how the board is in discussion on items and how things wind up being put on for action. So in saying that, I would like to begin the meeting tonight with the review of the March 18th, 2024 WOA workshop minutes. Anyone have any discussion, any comments? Okay, everyone's fine with it? You can make, well, we're not taking any action on this tonight. You had a
No.
chance to review it. I just want to make sure everyone's okay with it before we actually put it on for action next week. So you're okay with what's there? Okay, so
Yeah, that makes.
so the staff will understand that we have, we're okay with the minutes and bring them over to the action meeting.
Okay.
Okay, can we have a report on the recreation from Kristen, please?
Okay. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. This Sunday, we have our show at 3 p.m. in the ballroom. It's a Motown tribute. Tickets are $25, and there are still some available. B Bistro will be open for lunch from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. On our Atlantic City trips that are on sale now to resorts are Wednesday, May 1st and June 5th. We have the May 15th and June 19th. We'll be going to the Theater District of New York. Tickets are $30 per person, and those are both on sale now. In May, on May 19th, we will have another ballroom show, the Pat Benatar Tribute. Tickets are on sale now for that. We will be having our annual Memorial Day barbecue on Monday, May 27th at 12 p.m. The tickets are on sale for that as well. We have the car show on Saturday, June 8th from 11 to 3. You can see all the details on the flyer. And in July, on July 3rd, we will be going to the Wind Creek Casino. It's $30 per person, and that goes on sale Monday, May 20th. That's all I have for now.
Can I have a manager's report, please?
So just a couple of real brief things. I met with Plan Security. Susie and I met with Plan Security again this morning. We are continuing to communicate with them, if not daily, through email, but also requesting on-site meetings with them so that we can get all of the security issues under control. I think we're doing a lot better They are being extremely responsive. If an issue is, if they are informed of an issue, they are contacting the person and they are taking action on it. So they are really being very proactive. But what we need to do is we need to call the gate whenever you're having a guest. I live in a gated community, so I know how it works and I understand all of your struggles. So when you're having a guest come in, a vendor come in, please call the gate and tell them. I do understand sometimes they do not recognize that, but let's try to do our part and then we'll expect them to do their part and we'll see where it goes. We have started cleaning the pool. We are going to be doing bonding and grounding this weekend. That's an electrical requirement that must be done every 5 years. We're going to get that under control and then we'll be ready to open up on May 25th. And good news about the nurses. St. Peter's has hired a day nurse, a permanent day nurse. They haven't given me her start date yet, but at least we do know there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We will be having a permanent day nurse now. Okay, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. We skipped over the bistro renovations. There's nothing new to report on this. Everything is as it was the last time we got together. So there's nothing further to discuss and update you on there. Let's go down
Uh,
to, go ahead, I'm sorry. Anyone got
No,
something to say?
questions being asked should be held to the end. Any questions should be held to
Well,
the end.
everyone, yeah, on the workshop meeting, everything is held back until
Thank
the
you.
open forum. And that's when, you have an opportunity to come up and speak about, what the board is doing or anything else that may be on your mind.
Thank you.
So, please, hold all the questions there. Under a workshop, we're trying to get through the agenda and we're trying to make this,
What he's saying is that it's an open workshop meeting. So if you have a thought, write it down and bring it to us in the open forum. We're not going to have a discussion after every topic. Thank you.
thank you, Joe. Okay, let's go on to, new business. We have a new business report. I'm sorry, these microphones are not working well tonight. This thing's literally got to be in my mouth so you can hear me.
Come on, you're from Brooklyn, dude.
Okay, we have the status of the kickboxing bag. Sir G, you had some, information you want to share with us on this?
Yes, I do. Kick bag, we did receive one. We tried to figure out a way to use the bag we got. Unfortunately, I think there was some mix-up. The type of bag we got is for either ceiling mounting or wall mounted. Unfortunately, in that area, our walls are just partition walls. They're not load bearing. They cannot take the load. Our ceilings are drop ceiling. We cannot mount there either. The good news, we are going to return it. There is a floor mount model. So we are going to swap it with the floor mount model. So hopefully that will be here soon.
Okay. For those who don't fully understand, what we're talking about, we've purchased a kick bag. And it's been laying on the floor in the gym. A kick bag is basically something that, you can punch, you can kick with your foot.
Rather than us.
Now, the reason to have that in a 55 plus community is because we learned through one of our residents, he's certified in actually Florida. They have a program for people with Parkinson's disease. And it helps them with their coordination. So we're putting the bag there for some of our residents who have that condition. And he is a certified person, not in New Jersey. So as he put it to me, he says, I will help them with their homework. He cannot take the leadership role on it. But most of the residents in our community go down to, Freehold Regional with a hospital. Center State, I'm sorry. And that's where they learn the program. That's where they teach them the program. So we're going to put that bag in place here to help those people who are going through that process down at Center State. So we're hoping, once we can get it installed correctly and we get the right equipment, it'll be happening sooner than later. So that's what we're all talking about. Okay, let's move on to the next issue, the Newcastle Gate. Sir G, you have some more information on that?
Yes, I do. I don't need to tell anybody, what a problem issue the gates are. As we discussed in the last meeting, I think I did talk about that a little bit, that we are going to seriously look at all the gates, analyze, see where the issues are, see what the age of the gates is, look at each and every one of them, and then prioritize and start the process. The criteria was, let's see which area gives us the most issues. Where is it costing us money, headaches, the rest, all of you know. So Newcastle seems to be the one that was really never kept up, never renovated, is the oldest equipment amongst all the gates. So we chose to take care of that first. Unfortunately, being it's such a heavily used gate between not only our community, all the emergency services that go right through. The asphalt is all beaten up. The arms are beaten up. The rest of the structure is ready to fall apart. The good news, the board was very generous. We had funds allocated for the gates. So we have the equipment on order to replace that gate. In 2 to 3 weeks, it will be here. We are trying to find a company because we have to resurface the asphalt because there are sensors that make the arm either go up or down, to put it simply. And it's not only, we don't want to replace just what's there already. We put our heads together, Bob, Jose, we spent a lot of time on it. So we said, well, how can we make it better? We looked at that the fire trucks, they are the longest vehicles that go through, even the ambulances. By the time the whole vehicle goes through the arm gets confused, the whole sensing system. The arm starts to close. That's where we've been breaking and ruining all of these arms. So what we're going to do is we're going to put an additional sensor in the arm area on the incoming side and wire it up so that sensor will not allow the arm to come down till the vehicle has totally cleared that area. So bear with us. This gate is going to be taken care of. Once this is successful, then we will attack the next one. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Sir G. For your information, I attended the Senior Advisory Committee meeting for Mayor Delina the other night. Unfortunately, he was unable to attend the meeting because he had a urgent call on the other side of town where there's a old landfill. From time to time, they seem to have a problem with some odors coming out of there. And if you ever live near a landfill, you'll know that that's a problem. So his attention was drawn over there that night. But I have requested a meeting with the mayor in regards to this gate issue on the Newcastle side, and also talk to him in regards to our stormwater drainage system and how we tie into the entire system. So I'm hoping to have that meeting in the near future with the mayor to have some discussion. Next item of business is the geese services. We've entered into a contract, and Carol, I'm gonna need you to give me some information. The contract, the company that we're entering the contract, is that Geese Feathers?
Goose Technologies,
I'm sorry?
Goose Technologies.
Goose Technology. We currently, the way the system has been for the last 5 or 6 years, there's been two separate contracts. We've had a contract for geese problems, and the Golf Association has had a contract with their company. We had a meeting with them recently, and they requested us to look into whether or not we could join them on their contract. Because they felt that for the addling issue with eggs, and that's going on currently, this is the time of the year, that their person would be better served to take care of that problem. We looked into the contract we currently have. We were able to terminate that contract, enter into an agreement with the golf course. And so everyone is happy on our end that it's going to cover all our needs on our properties. And also the Golf Association is happy with that as well. And the bonus out of it is that we're probably going to save about $5,000 a year by making a switch over. So it's a win-win for everyone as far as I was concerned. So that's what's happening with the geese contract. We'll vote on that formally next week. Bulk billing. I requested this item. There's a bill that's being currently promoted by the FCC in regards to bulk billing. If anyone doesn't know what bulk billing is, it's where a lot of cable companies and internet providers have an opportunity to work with larger communities like ours and be able to give us discounts. The FCC is currently trying to push a bill through to eliminate that. First Service has actually been very helpful in trying to negotiate with Comcast and get us that discount. But because of this bill that's being proposed, there's a chance that we could lose it. We haven't gotten it yet, but we're trying. But with this bill, where it's a non-starter. So we're going to ask to pass a letter or resolution, as I would call it. We'll send it to the FCC. We'll send it to our area congressional representation and also for the U.S. Senate, and let them know that we feel very strongly on this, and we hope that they would support the residents here in Monroe, in our community, and also in the entire state of New Jersey, to basically make sure that the FCC does not adopt that bill because it's not in our best interest. So that's what this is about. So it'll be on the next meeting. I'm assuming everyone is okay with all this. So that's what we're going to be doing next week with that. Let's move on. Okay, the next item is the front entrance sign. It's blocked by shrubbery and a lot of other things. And this is, but Jay, would you like to speak about this?
Yeah, we have an issue where visitors can't see our sign until they're right up here. We had little bushes, which tend to grow up into big bushes, and they block the sign. So I would like either LMS or or the maintenance people to work on removing that bush and any other trees that have grown out. Carol, would you know who would take care of that? Would it be LMS or us?
Well, if the board is in agreement for removal, then I would ask LMS first to see, because it's a very large bush. It's really not a tree. So I think LMS would be able to handle it and then put something in its place that's going to be smaller. It's not, and if you come down that way, it's not in front of the sign. It's really on the other side of the road at the entry road. But as you're driving down, your eye is blocked by that bush when you're trying to see the sign. So it's something I think it's out of place. It's too large for the area. It's too large for the other items that are in that bed. So it's going to look better if we take that large bush out, put something smaller in there. So if the board's in agreement then I'll ask LMS to do that.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's move on
Just make
I,
to,
I would ask LMS for recommendations.
we'll move on to our next item 8, the financial update. I will turn this over to Kathy.
Good evening, everyone. Just an update on audit information. The 2022 financials have gone out to our auditor. They will be reviewing and will get back to us with any problems or concerns or questions that they may have. So we're waiting now on that, but the financials have gone out. On the financial reports, I'll just move to the next topic. On financial reports, just continuing with where we left off the last time, we are finalizing the February numbers. We just received our first draft of the March numbers. There's some additional accruals that need to be made, and then hopefully they will be finalized by next week. And then we can talk about setting up a meeting with Budget and Finance. And as I said, after that meeting, where everyone in Budget and Finance is comfortable with where we are, we will then upload the first quarter financials for all our homeowners to review. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you very much. Moving on to item number 9, old business. Carol, can you walk us through some of these items, please?
So we had a discussion on radios for the guards and for staff. And there was a discussion if there are planned staff, then planned should be buying the radios. So we went back to planned and we asked them about it. They're not in favor of it. So the issue now is the board in agreement that we need radios? And if we do so, is the board willing to purchase them themselves? And we did get a proposal for $2,721
Okay.
for communication between the guards, the staff, maintenance. And right now, the guards are using their cell phones. So it's
Okay.
a
No,
matter
no, no.
for the board to discuss.
All right. Do we have any discussion amongst the board members on this item?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Joe.
What about the purchase of the radios that I found on Amazon?
I had an opportunity to speak to Jose about that. He said, unfortunately, the range was not good enough because once you got from the guardhouse and you got to approximately by where the pool was, everything would be lost.
Even though it's a 100-mile radius?
I'm only telling
Okay.
you what the
I
tech person
understand
told
that.
me.
Okay, I get it.
Whatever reason, it doesn't work well with the antenna system we have.
Okay, I
So
get
the
it.
range is then cut back.
Okay, thank you.
Tom, do we know if the radios that are being proposed will in fact work with our system?
Good question.
Well, the ones that are being proposed, I think Jose recommended those. Is that correct?
Correct. This proposal was provided to us by Jose. Well, actually, Jamie went out and got the proposal, but it was approved and reviewed by Jose.
Okay, and as I guess everyone here does know, Jose is basically our IT person. He's our technology person. So he's the one who's making the recommendation on these units.
If they're segregated to a designated channel in our development, then I would be in favor of that.
Okay, I can't answer that question. I don't know, but
Thank you.
we can ask Jose that question before we take action on it next
That's
week.
fine.
Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, the next item is the merger update. Who would like to make this report? I'm gonna rely on, Jay, I'm gonna ask you because, Jay, I'm gonna ask you, you are, one of the, tenured board members. This is an issue that's been going on for at least 2 or 3 years. So, this is ongoing. We did have a meeting, just the other day with the attorneys, and trying to, get governing documents in agreement with Greenbrier's attorney and the Wower attorney so that we could basically get a document to send out to all the residents, and they will vote on it. And at that point, either agree with it or disagree with it. But the issue is getting the finalized document. And then, of course, once the board is satisfied with that, there'll be an educational process where there'll probably be some open sessions here. And the people who are really the advocates of this issue will have an opportunity to speak about it, or those who are against it will have an opportunity to speak about it, and everyone will be able to air it and will be able to make a decision. Like I'm saying, it'll go out in the mail. It's a change in the governing document, so that requires everyone to participate. So that will happen once we get the final document, which we don't have. Hold your questions to the end, please.
Only tell the representative on behalf of Whittingham that I do have some, can you hear me now? Okay. We went through the meeting yesterday. There were issues that I have with the way the merger is being set up. On behalf of Whittingham, I'm hopeful that we can work that out. But the issues will be addressed. Those of you who know me know that I don't let anything go by that I have questions about. So relax and let me see what I can do to satisfy everybody.
Okay. Yes, go ahead, Kathy, please.
All right, I just want to close this off by saying the attorneys have promised us their document by May 1st. And so we will be reviewing after that point. But just to add a little bit so that people understand what this will do, what the merger will do for this community is administratively consolidate the boards, basically. So there will be one board with 9 individuals. 6 will represent Greenbrier and 3 will represent Whittingham. We'll go into the details at a later point, but that is basically the intention, is to administratively consolidate the boards and the work that is done here. So only one board has to deal with it.
Well said.
Thank you. Our next item is the course procedure for printing contracts. Carol, do you have anything on this for us?
We prepared a rule for the printing of contracts. So anytime you're going to do anything, you put it in writing and you ratify it at a joint session and you publish it to the community and it is in effect. So now that we've come to a decision on how we are going to handle requests for contracts, we wrote it up. And if the board is in agreement, at the next meeting next week, we will ratify it and it'll be published to the community. So now you know, anytime you want a copy of a contract, there's a structure and there is a rule governing it.
Right. Okay, anyone on the board have any comment on this? No? Okay, very good. Let's move on to the next item. Susie, you have a issue with the lighting in the ladies' room?
I will help with that. So
Okay.
we had a request for increased lighting in the ladies' locker room. So we changed the bulbs. If you go there, take a little trip after the meeting, go and look. On the left side, you'll see that the lights that were there are now much brighter. Same lights, same fixtures. We just changed the bulbs. So the lights on the left-hand side are nice and bright. The lights on the right-hand side are the originals, and they're going to be replaced. It was LEDs, so we kind of did a test. And we liked the way the ones on the left look, so now we've ordered the ones for the right. You asked, and we did it. Okay?
Any comment from the board? Okay, move on to the next item. The ladies' room, bathroom floor strips. Jay?
Yeah, we had looked into getting strips the way you have in
Really?
the bathtub. to apply them to the floor where it's so slippery. And we have to pick out which strips we're going to do, and we'll just try it in the ladies' room first, and if it works, then we'll apply it for the rest of the place.
Repeat what you just said.
We're looking into getting strips the way you have in a bathtub to apply to the floor where it's so slippery to eliminate the problem of slipping, the slipping. And we're gonna pick out which strips and to start off, we'll do it in the ladies' room, and then if it works okay, we'll continue with the rest of the place.
Is going to make personal visits to the ladies' room while you're there to see whether or not they're good.
Okay, everyone on the board, we're okay with this?
Good.
Anyone have any comment? I'm talking
No.
to the board. All right, anyone on the board?
Yeah, I just want to say one thing, seriously. The strips right now are only going to be applied in the shower areas. Because talking to the people, Bob and I, we did go into some of that area. No, we did not go into the ladies' room, rest assured. But what we heard that the shower areas are the biggest problem. The rest of the area, people do use slippers or some kind of shoes. We all agree that the floors with the wet feet or when the floor is wet, absolutely, they are slippery, something needs to be done.
Okay. Any other comment on the board? Okay. Can we get a status of the engineering contract? Carol, where are we with that?
We are currently on hold. Our attorney came back. Well, the ONS contract went to the ONS attorneys and they came back requesting some changes. And we are now having to decide if that change is going to be the right change for us. And if not, then the board has to decide if they're going to make these changes and sign the contract, or if we're going to go and look for another engineering firm. What they want, they want to change the hourly contract cost. They want to change on paragraph G, we will not sign a contract with this stricken. Our attorney had stricken some language. They are not in favor of that. And there's two places on that page where the language was removed and they are not happy about it because they say it does not protect our individual employees and limits the liability of ONS. So these three items are up for the board to decide, and with the advice of the attorney, if we are in agreement with this and if we can safely agree to these terms. And if not, then maybe we have to talk about going out for another
I
engineer.
am very hopeful that our attorney can work this out because of all the of all the companies we interviewed, ONS is clearly the best for us. So we're trying to get the attorneys, and our attorneys looking out to protect us, to see if we can work it out.
Anyone else on the board have any comment? All right, we'll see how things go this week coming up in regards to these discussions with ONS. And we'll
Right.
have discussions with our attorney. And if we'll see where it's going. If it's not gonna be a positive move, then we'll just take this thing off. We'll take no action on it next week.
Okay.
Okay? Request from Kristen. Kristen, do you have some information for us?
I'll take it for
Oh, you're
Kristen.
taking it? Okay.
So Kristen, and you just jump in anytime. Okay. Kristen, had some requests and I will indicate there are 4 of them. A few residents requested that we extend the town center weekend hours on Saturday and Sunday. Three Aquasize members have asked if they can add a Friday Aquasize class to the schedule. Currently, Aquasize meets Mondays and Thursdays, and AquaFit meets on Wednesdays. Another request was different clubs are asking if it would be possible for Kristen to email their flyers to the entire community. And the last request was ORT and Hadassah are asking if they can meet more often in the town center when there's availability. Currently, they are limited to one monthly meeting and one event per quarter. So these 4 items were addressed to the board. The board will discuss them and make their decisions, and then we will let Kristen know.
Does anyone have any discussion on these items right now? Well, whatever you may have.
In terms of Saturday and Sunday town center hours, I think currently we are operating up to 5 o'clock on both Saturday and Sunday. Am I correct, Carol?
8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Is it 6 or 5?
6.
6 o'clock. Okay. So to add hours, I think it was proposed 2 hours till 8 o'clock. The cost to
The
us
request was until 10 p.m.
till 10.
Yes.
I didn't read that.
Where that, I thought it was only 2 hours. the
Yeah, I
request.
thought it was 2 hours. Okay, till 10. So for every hour that we stay open in the town center, we need the cost of a concierge. I don't know if there's any additional cost for maintenance. So
There would be custodial charges.
there will be facility charges. Okay, I don't know what those are. I know that the cost of each concierge per hour is roughly all inclusive, including rates, or if we're going with, let's say, planned services, it would be $50 an hour. So if we're extending 2 hours, that's $100 for Saturday, another 100 for Sunday, and multiply it over the course of the year, 52 weeks a year, that could be up to $5,200. I understand. So now 4 hours, multiply that twice.
Double it.
So we're looking at an additional 10,400 per year. It's something that we've talked about. We will continue to discuss it. It is difficult at this point until we understand where we will be with First Service coming in as our management company, where the savings will be, what the offsets might be. And so for now, we cannot conclude or come to a decision, but we will continue to talk about it. I don't know that 4 hours is feasible. It would probably be better to consider 2 hours first. And then if it's successful and we see that there are people using the facilities, then we may want to consider the additional hours at that cost. So we'll continue discussions on it, but I cannot give you a conclusive decision on my
Okay,
part.
okay, hold on.
Kathy, My
Jay,
understanding.
Jay wants, okay, Jay and then Karen, you'll speak. Go ahead.
My understanding was my understanding was not to open the whole building both days, but to have just the ballroom open for Saturday evening socials. So we're not paying for the rest of the building and not for both days. It would only be for Saturday socials for a few hours on Saturday afternoon. That's the way I heard about it. So that might cut the cost a bit.
All right, did you want to say something?
With respect to the 2 organizations that are asking for additional access to the town center for functions. We discussed that with the board last year. And we found that we cannot keep giving the same organizations access to everything when we have so many clubs and so many organizations who want to use our facilities. So my initial reaction is the same as it was last year, which is we can't afford to give particular organizations access more than others, and to be fair for all the groups.
Okay, all right. Obviously, the board's gonna have a discussion and we're gonna continue discussion on these items. So we could understand the impact of the budget and how it's gonna affect the use of the building. So, let's move on to the last item here, which is the pool windows. Jay, I believe you have this issue?
Yeah, there's been a lot of questions for people who use the pool in the afternoon. You have the sun coming in through those large windows. It gets directly in your eyes and it's also glaring off the water. So I would like to look into having some kind of shade or blind put up on those windows to take care of that situation, if we could look into that.
Okay, Carol, why don't you work with Jay and understand which windows are affected and maybe we could get some quotes to see what the cost would be.
Okay,
Okay,
How about tinting?
excuse me?
Tinting the windows, maybe cheaper.
We
we
could
could
look
look
into
into
that?
that also.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else on this? Okay, thank you. All right, well, I've got here an adjournment as the next item. That's obviously not going to happen. Let's, at this point, go to the open forum. For anyone who has any issues they want to discuss tonight, they don't have to necessarily be what we discussed tonight. Anything that may be on your mind. Please, you know, the routine, come up to the microphone, name, address, try to speak close to the mic. The mics don't seem to be working very well tonight, fortunately. So I think that mic's gonna have to be turned on. There's a switch there, I believe.
Okay. Hi, Susan Kaplan, 67 Dawson Lane. A number of years ago, I know even before I moved in, pardon me, the dumpsters in the parking lot were fenced in. And of the last 2 years, I believe part of that fence is down, exposing the dumpsters with the garbage overflowing part of the week, particularly if there's an event. I sent the board a picture of that, and the only reason, and Kathy was nice enough to respond to me, but the only reason I'm coming up here is I noticed that I think it's the bistro that puts their trash there. So I thought maybe they would be helpful in
Well,
replacing the part of that fencing
Bistro
that
does
was
put their
down.
garbage in our containers and we are looking into getting the gate repaired. So,
Great.
I mean, we heard what you said and it makes sense. And so, you know, it takes a little time to get the quotes and
No,
get the
wonderful.
right.
I was
right
asking
person.
for an update to
All right.
Kathy, and she
Thank you.
said it was in discussion. Thank
Good.
you.
Next person, name and address, please.
Wally Reich, 3 Wellfleet. I'm addressing Kathy because I don't know when this subject was taken up last year as far as the 2 organizations that asked for extra time. I don't think it was ever taken up. Okay.
Well, it was taken up, and I want to hear what you have to say, of course, but it was
course.
discussed and denied.
All right. This is for Hadassah and Ort, both Jewish organizations who have not, we have a workshop meeting, a small meeting. We're asking for 1 additional room a month, 1. And at this particular time, I think it's very important for all of you to realize that, and I don't want to bring up anti-Semitism, but we're fighting it desperately. So one night a month, that's all we're asking for. I don't know what you have heard.
No, the question, how many people attend your meeting?
We could have up to 50 or 60.
Okay.
And we could take the room upstairs, the poker room. We go to the senior, whatever it's called. And a lot of our members are seniors. They can't see, they can't walk. And it's a very major thing for them. I can't drive there myself at night. So, we all live here. And I am asking for the one night a month. Besides, we have 3 other nights or 2 nights that we pay for. And I don't know of any other club that pays. We've been paying for years. So I would like you to take that up and allow us to have that extra time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, name and address.
Debbie Harbacken, 69B Winthrop. I'm going to preface this with a question. A.W. Hobart, do they have a contract with this community?
They do, they are authorized to do work for us. They do not have exclusivity. We have actually, the board has asked to begin looking at vendors, so we have more than one person to call.
Okay. Now my comment, A.W. Hobart personally overbilled on a job, and I'm not going to go into details, done by me, and I know many board members are aware of this. I wound up being charged twice what a private contractor quoted me for the same job. But because I'm in Whittingham, I had to go through the community. The previous management was aware of it. The previous board was aware of it. It was an item that was taken up. I was so dismayed to see the Hobart trucks here in our parking lot of the clubhouse this week, 3 days in a row. I'm very concerned that when they did a lot of the work on the clubhouse, through the fire, through the water damage, through everything, that they overcharged us because that wasn't being monitored. And just taking a look at my small little job on my siding that needed repaired, and what they charged me for that, I am super concerned that we have overpaid for that. And all I'm asking is for the board and the management company to take a look at them, their billing practices, who's monitoring the amount of time they're staying at a house, because that's what was grossly overstated when they did the repair. And who's making sure that we are paying I'm not even saying the cheapest rates, the market rate for the work that's being done. I understand.
Sir
No,
G,
not when you're in an HOA and it's sent by management, okay?
Debbie, Sir G's wants to answer your question.
Yes.
Yeah, Debbie, your point is very well taken. There are more than one complaints. So we are definitely looking at it. We have discussed it 2 or 3 times. Our intention is to have 3 go-to companies. In all fairness to Hobart, they have some of their employees living in the Dayton area, so their response time in emergencies is really very good. But that's not to say we should not look at the whole picture. You know, I'm sure there are some other people who can give us equally good service and at a reasonable rate.
I'm not saying that you need to get rid of Hobart. What I'm saying is they need to be monitored. Because,
Absolutely.
first of all, I never even knew they were coming to my house that day for repair. It was not a planned repair. It was supposed to be maintenance fixing it. They showed up. They worked for 50 minutes and built multiple hours to the community, which then turned around and went to me. So somebody needs to be monitoring what's coming in as billing and what's actually being done. That's my question. I'm asking our new management company, which I welcome you to the community, but please fix this situation because I know of 3 other homeowners that they did private work for that they pretty much charged triple what they should have paid. And because they were elderly, nobody was helping them. So, thank you.
We're not going to let this,
Repeat, I can't hear
we're
you.
not going to let this issue die. Something will be done.
Okay, thank you.
You just say,
Hold on. All right. hold on. Kathy, you wanted to say something?
I'd like to just let the community know, we have been, and I individually, have been going through all invoices. I've been looking, I've been flagging. Why was this done? Why did it take 3 hours? We've gone back to vendors and said, this was a simple job. It should have taken maybe 2 hours. They do inform us in some cases that we will pay for their travel time. So the time that it takes for them to arrive and the time that it takes for them to get back, they will charge us because the arrangement we have is that they will bill us at a lower rate. Now, I just want to let everyone know, we are reviewing. We are now instituting a policy where we will have bids on contracts or projects. We will look at them and decide which vendor is better suited. Is it the one that has to respond quickly and maybe a little bit higher priced? Or is it another that can wait, but they're going to be less expensive? It takes time. We're going through vendors one by one. Should I mention electricity? We have switched vendors, electrical services. We have brought in a new vendor. We'll probably see bills cut nearly in half. So we're doing it one by one, but it takes so much time to reach out, get proposals, bids. But little by little, we're instituting this policy so that we can choose the best vendor for the job.
Go ahead, Karen. Hold on.
Can't you wait your turn?
Elaine Messina.
I just want to say something. I know I heard the applause. I heard the complaints. I understand that some people may not be happy with the work that Hobart does. I, for one, I know he was more expensive than other people, but the work that he did, and he did a tremendous amount of work in the 2 houses I own. So I want to just say, we're not paying for nothing. We're paying for quality. And if we, I hope we can get another company cheaper, but don't just assume because he charges more that he's not worth the amount that he charges.
My name
Next
is
speaker, please. Yeah.
Elaine Messina, 76 Leads. I have 2 items. Okay, 76 Leads, 2 items. I understand that people are not happy with the wood paneling in the restaurant and they want to paint it. I strongly advise you not to paint the paneling. First of all, it's going to look terrible and it matches the library and the entrance. It looks really nice. You need to replace the flooring, yes, and maybe new lights to make it brighter, but not paint the paneling. Also, as far as the aqua size or the aerobics in the pool goes, that doesn't cost you anything. It costs the homeowners who want to join it have to pay for it. A private contractor comes in, and so it's really no skin off your nose if we have more classes. I don't even know why it has to go to the board, frankly. So those are 2 things that I just wanted to bring up.
Okay, thank you. Next speaker, please. Hold on.
My name is
I
Pierre
just wanna
Ryan
say to that.
at 6 Wilton Place.
Hold on.
Wait, before you start, I just want to add to, um, The question of how or whether to change the color of the paneling and everything, we will discuss, okay? But a lot of people complain it's too dark. A lot of people complain they like it the way it is. A lot of people complain they wanted a different color. I'll tell, well, we're never going to satisfy everybody. We will go and look. How's that? Isn't that good enough? We'll go and look and we will decide what to do. Frankly, you want to ask my personal opinion. I think this place, especially, and when they redid the entryway to here, I wanted to make it more modern. And this to me looks like it's in the 17th century. Okay. Okay. Now, if you like that, fine. The board voted at that time. That's what they wanted. It wasn't what I wanted, but I didn't, it is. So we'll talk about it, but people have different opinions of how it should look.
Okay, thank you. I'm
Aye.
sorry. Go ahead, sir.
That's okay. Pierre Ryan, 6 Wilton Place. We had a big show last year, and it was on the stage, and I had the great privilege of being the curtain man. Unfortunately, the curtains are very hard to pull. It made a minor repair and made it a little bit easier. However, even after they fixed it, I had to wear gloves, and after a few weeks of that, my hands were hurting. It's very difficult. I've been to other communities and you push a button and the curtains open, or if you pull it, they work. So we're going to have more shows by PAC, and I suggest strongly that the pulleys be fixed or the curtains lightened, or I don't know how to fix it myself, but I do know it's a problem that has to be attended to. Thank you.
No, he's absolutely correct. I worked with him on the PAC show, and Joe was there as well. And we all know, and there's a lot of people here from PAC I see in the back, and that is a real issue with trying to make these shows successful. This curtain is really probably past prime. Thank you.
Hi, Irene McNulty, 105 Chichester. Two things I just wanted to ask about. Two things that I wanted to ask about. My name is Irene McNulty, 105 Chichester. As far as the bistro contract, is that going to be voted on next week? And I was wondering if there's
There's nothing new to report than what's been reported. There's nothing new to report on the bistro, so there's nothing being voted on.
okay, so there's no contract or anything for them yet? Oh, okay.
There's no signed contracts, yes.
Okay, thank you. Then the other item is, as far as the procedure for the printing of and obtaining copies of contracts, will the residents be able to know what that is before the board votes on it? In other words, they talked about, a pricing, and then last time I had made a suggestion about if a scanned copy could be made and if anyone would be able to receive it by email rather than a hard printed copy, that might be more efficient. I was wondering if the board, consider that and what the cost is going to be if someone wants to get a copy of a contract.
Does anyone have any response on that? Okay. Yeah, we're aware of that. And unfortunately, there are some people who are dependent on the printed copy here in this community. There are quite a few people, believe it or not, who don't own a computer and don't have access to the internet.
I guess, well, could it be either or? Could there be, one procedure for requesting a copy if someone wanted to look at it by email? And then if somebody wanted the printed copy, I understand that would be obviously, more of a cost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Carol, do you have a comment on that?
When the discussion was had previously, the decision was made that they would only be hard copies given out, and the price is 15 cents a page. The board did not agree that an email copy was the right way to distribute a vendor's contract. So it has to be at this time, unless the board changes their mind. But currently, the rule that is written that will be ratified next week, if it's not changed, is paper copies at 15 cents a page.
Okay, thank you.
Cliff Durlacher, 38F Rutland. I represent the pickleball club, and last year we had our pickleball party on a Tuesday night because there were no Fridays available, and as we know, Saturdays are exorbitant to have a party. We're not asking for every week for there to be a Saturday available. However, there are no Fridays available, generally speaking, and my club is a younger club, and they work the next day, and a Tuesday night just doesn't work for many of our members. So that's why we asked if the Saturday could be worked out a few times a year so that we could have a party on a night when our members can attend. And I presume many of our residents would like to see this ballroom being used on a Saturday night. You drive past here on a Saturday night, it's a ghost town. It just doesn't look good. Thank you.
Maria DeLucia, 85A Winthrop. A comment on the extra hours on the weekend. I don't think it's necessary that we do it on Sundays, but it is so difficult to get a date. And as the previous person said, every Friday is booked. Saturdays, if you, instead of doing 2 hours on each Saturday and Sunday, if you could consolidate those and give 4 hours on a Saturday, even at least a couple, if not every Saturday, then a couple Saturdays a month to open up for other clubs to be able to use it for other activities. It's necessary. There's so many clubs now that need time. My other comment is, I think you might be misinformed on the women's locker room with the floor issue. It is not just the showers. It is absolutely not. It is as you leave the pool to go into the locker room, that floor is treacherous. It is the entire way into the locker room is treacherous. And the lighting issue is also in the changing rooms. There are no lights in the changing areas. And that was one of the issues, not just the open locker area, but the changing rooms. So that is my request, is that if you're going to go in and make plans to put these strips down, take somebody in with you that knows where the issues are. Take somebody from Aquasize, take a woman in with you to show you where the issues are. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Sandra Cohen, 9 Winthrop Road. I need some facts answered. It's not that I first need a question. I'd like to know the names of the attorneys. The
So
attorney
what?
for Wower and the attorney for Greenborough. I guess I should say, did we change the attorneys?
No.
Oh, I just asked that question. Okay, that's the question.
The attorneys are the same.
That's all I want to know. As far as the pool, the indoor pool and the showers, you really have to wear flip-flops or water shoes. We've tried strips before in other places that I lived in. What happens ultimately is the strips start to come up, and then it's a major slippage problem. So if you wear those pool shoes, then it really doesn't happen. Okay. We have no money. That's what everybody keeps saying. We have no money. So if we want to do curtains and we have no money to do the automatic, which is, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I've been tap dancing in the tap dancing group for, I don't know, 18 or 19 years. We've always had that problem, and we've never had money to do that electronically. It would have been fabulous. It also would have been nicer when we have a show if those, the piano and whatever would be pushed back someplace so it doesn't look so, I don't know, off the cuff. So as far as the curtains are concerned, yes, it would be great, but we have no money because you can't just get a button thing. You have to replace the entire curtains. The other thing is, as far as money is concerned, do we still have the same engineer group, or have we changed engineer companies?
Not yet.
Just said, just I'd like to know.
We're seeking a new engineer now, and that's what the discussion was about the language in the contract.
Oh, okay.
So,
thank you.
we had used FWH. We are now trying to evolve over to ONS Engineering.
Okay, thank you for that. And as far as I kind of thought that everybody has to pay for a meeting in the clubhouse or whatever. Is that still correct? No?
All the social clubs, they pay for the room?
If they hold a party or something on the weekend and the building's not open, they pay. And if they meet on a night that's not theirs, they pay.
All right, so if Hadassah or Ort or any other club want to have a meeting, an extra meeting, do they pay for that?
Right now, Ort and Hadassah are only allowed to have one per quarter. They pay for that. But
So if they want to have another one and they want to pay for it, can they have that?
right now, no, one per quarter.
Oh, even though nothing is doing on the other times they want to have a meeting? Or any other club, like if the Indian club has a meeting once a year and they want it twice a year, if they pay for it, can they have it?
Our clubs, yes, but
Oh,
Ort
so-
and Hadassah are not our clubs.
Oh,
They're an
not our
outside
clubs.
organization.
That's the issue. It's not our clubs. So a question, you want to keep the town center open from 8 in the morning till 6 PM at night on Saturday and Sunday. Can I ask why? I mean, usually Sunday, if we have a show, the show is finished and then everybody leaves and goes out to dinner or whatever. Why do they want to have it from 6 to 8 o'clock at night, which is very costly for the community?
Right now, the clubhouse is open 8 AM to 6 PM,
To 6
Saturday
PM,
and Sunday.
But they wanted to,
They want to
they
extend
want
the
it to
hours.
8 or to 10.
Correct.
Right. So, but people don't understand. I don't know how many people would come, but there's 1,600 homes here. And so let's say 100 people come and it costs us all so much money. We don't have the money to just pay for all of that stuff. So a lot of it is a monetary, I've discussed it with Kathy a lot. A lot of it is a monetary issue for us, all of us in the community. And that's what I'm saying. So we could all want to have what we want to, but I was under the impression on a Sunday, we usually have something,
Right.
a movie
We-
or a,
Sandra, we've already said we're looking at that. We're looking at it.
right, but are you looking at for the community or just for the people who
Well,
want to go?
We're looking at the cost. Everything has a dollar figure
Yeah,
behind a
and we're
request.
all saying we have no money. That's just, thank you.
Next person, please. Thank you.
Mimi Siegel, 19A Rutland. I first want to thank you for, at the last meeting, I questioned about the cost of, with the fire alarms, to replace the batteries, and also there was no inspection for so long. Well, I got the notice that there's going to be inspection, but I question the costs of things. Yes, I understand the sensors, you change your the door or you change your windows, you have to change the sensors. I respect that. I know I have to pay for it, but I'm here since this place went up all those years. We never paid for anything other than that. And I know that my battery went out a couple of years ago. They came, they changed the battery, no charge. Why are we being charged now? And the person who replaces it gets $50 a half hour. I have the paper here.
Yes, ma'am. I myself, along with Bob Brown and Jose.
Could you just speak a little louder? I still didn't
Yes, ma'am.
hear.
Yes,
Okay, go
yes. We recently, just the other day, sent a sort of, I don't want to use the word notice, like a communique to outline, we have two type of systems in Whittingham. You have the fire alarm system and then you have your home security system. They are basically in a way independent, but at the same time also tied together. Unfortunately, the way this whole building was constructed, they try to find the best way to make everything work. Just to, in a layman's term, if you read through what Ava and I drafted, we just sent it the other day. And in fact, I was going to ask for any comments, see if we need to clarify more things, expand. Look at it like in two areas. Anything to do with the fire alarm, let it be equipment or service, whatever, maintenance, it's all free. Anything to do with your home security system, some things are shared by the fire alarm system. Those generally will not be built. But anything to do with your home security itself, the sensors, the batteries in the sensors, broken sensors, or replacement,
The
when you replace
census, I
windows.
understand that.
Yes, ma'am, they are billable. But anything to do with the fire alarm system, that box inside your closet, if that needs any kind of repair, update, battery change, no charge.
Okay. Can I just ask if perhaps someone could go back and look at records? And you would have to go back about 4 years, I would guess, and see, we were not charged for anything. We were regularly inspected. And like I said, the sensors, I understand, but I do not understand if my battery goes out. So I just request that you check that out. Okay? Okay, thank
Your
you.
point is well taken. Again, it's education. All I'm trying to explain to you is the situation we have now. A lot of things were modified, changed. Again, unfortunately, we cannot inspect all the homes together. So a deal was made with the township. They allowed us to check 1/5 of the homes each year. So every 5 year, your whole fire security system is going to be checked. Any parts that needs replacement, replaced, updated, and your records updated.
Okay, Sujay,
So 80 to 85 homes each year.
yeah, Sujay, Carol, could you please go back and check the thing and see how it was, go back 4 or 5 years ago, whatever information we may have on file, how we handled
Thank
it,
you.
whether or not there were charges, please, I'm in the middle of talking. Can you check to see if it was a service that we charged no one, or if there was a fee? And if it was changed, when was it changed? And,
When was it changed? Yeah, I'll look.
all right, that's all. Thank you.
Joe Sacco, number 11 London Drive. I just got comments, I guess. The painting in the restaurant. It's hardly ever used by the residents. Excuse me. You get online.
All right, okay. Let the gentleman have his point of view. I mean,
Right.
we should all respect it. We don't need to.
It's open, what, a couple of hours, for, I mean, maybe 3 days a week at this point,
Okay.
before you look at the contract. Okay? It's not worth it. Putting money into the restaurant that people hardly use. Okay? The pool and the changing rooms, the floor that's been talked about a lot tonight. I don't know what to say about that. It should have been done correctly with a non-slip floor. Supposedly, there was an interior decorator who decorated that place. Okay? And A lot of things in there were really not necessary, Tom, really. I think they should look at, I think you should look into into who did it, who's responsible for picking out that floor. Because now you're talking about putting, non-slip tape down. It's been stripped twice. This is ridiculous. And talking about money, nobody can do anything because, oh, we don't have the money. At this point, I will say, between the new management and you guys, everybody does feel comfortable compared to what we had before. Okay?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, Hobart, thank you, Hobart. Supposedly, if I'm not mistaken, or from what I heard, they did practically everything here with the modernizing of the town center and all kinds of stuff. Not long after they did the pool and the locker rooms, you had a fire. You had electrical problems and the flood. Whoever did the work in there should have been sued. Supposedly, it was a matter of insurance, an insurance claim that raised our maintenance fees. Okay, why should we have to have paid them? Why should we have to pay higher fees when they screwed up? That's my opinion. And that's pretty much it. I just want to say one more thing. Just a story from the new management compared to the old management. I have a deck outside my house that has a skirt around it because it's off the floor, okay? A couple of years ago, I'd say around October and November, I went outside and I saw that it was damaged. The only way it could have been damaged was by a lawnmower, okay? Now, I called management and I spoke to you-know-who. And then the next day, Matt from the lawn company came. Oh, okay, we could do that. We'll fix that. All right. Do you have the paint? Yeah, I got the paint to touch it up and whatever. And then he was gone. The following day, two guys came from maintenance. They looked at it. They didn't even say anything to me. They just looked at it and they went away. Okay. Now we're into November. I didn't do anything or say anything because Thanksgiving was coming. I figured, well, whatever. After Thanksgiving, I wrote an email. And in my email, I said just that. I didn't want to be a pest because the holidays and extra problems. To make a long story short, which I haven't done so far, my last communication with management was in March. From November to March. And that's the satisfaction I got. And the last email I got from management, every time I sent an email, which I have all of them at home, I sent a picture of the damage. I never asked for anything more than the picture of the damage. You-know-who sent me an email and she said, no, I can't do that. She sent me an email. You know who I'm talking about. She sent me an email and said, well, only the damage is going to be looked at, not anything else on the porch. I found that very, very insulting. All right, that's it. That's it.
Thank you very
That's
much.
it.
All right.
All
now
right,
is-
I'm going to respond very briefly because we have gone.
Hold on a minute, hold on.
We've gone through this many, many times. The fire in this town center was an accidental electrical fire as decided by the fire department. There was nobody who was responsible, who should have gotten sued, nothing like that. And we have explained that to the community 100 times. So I'll say it one more time. You can't go around telling us we should be suing people who were not responsible for what happened. This building, we'll be lucky if we don't have 100 more fires in this building, the way it was built.
And then let's go next.
Okay, just very quickly. The decisions that were made for the locker rooms, the pool, were made before our time. We're dealing with those issues. We're trying. Now, I do want to say, and I'm just going to appeal to rational minds. Please wear shoes until this is resolved. Please, for your own protection, your own safety. Think about it. We know these floors are slippery. We are trying to get them fixed so that people will not slip. But until we can get that in place, please wear shoes, protect yourself. Please do that.
All right, thank you.
Two things, Marcia Forrest, 11 Whitehall Road. Joe, can you announce the date of the next zoning board meeting? Because I think it was May, it was put up.
The next zoning board meeting on the McDonald's issue will be May 28th. It will be the only item on the agenda. As you know, the mayor came here last week. He was asked some questions about whether or not the administration would back us in court if in fact the motion to accept the variances was denied and the applicant decided to elevate that to the state or to the county, and would the administration represent us in court if that were to happen? The answer was that that would be up to a judge. So that being said, whoever attended the last meeting, please attend the next meeting, because we need to show a strong support that this should not happen.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
It would be 6:30 at the municipal building. Okay, the last meeting we had flooded the courtroom, was almost totally full downstairs. And because the applicant in their way to do things, this is a stall tactic. It took them 3 hours for their presentation, at which time, understandably, many people had left. But to Vinny Lefeda's, the chairman's credit, he opened the forum. He did not close the open forum. In my opinion, the next time this happens, the open forum will start the meeting unless the format changes, and we'll be able to express our views prior to them making their presentation. My opinion is that, given the fact that the applicant is asking for 21 variances, one, that there were in the last 5 years, 175 accidents in the lot only, and that's, don't forget, that's 2 years of COVID. So if it had not been COVID, it would have been 250 in the stop and crash lot. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. But the thing is, we need to show that we're against this thing, and hopefully the people will prevail. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Joe, if you could prepare more questions for us like you did last time, I'd be happy to ask another question. Okay,
Thank
the
you.
next-
Appreciate it.
Okay, and finally, I think I've been standing online for so long, I think I forgot my question. But you talked about some of the younger people that have moved into the community are pressing for Saturday nights because they work the next day and a weeknight isn't going to work for them. So if they want that, and we know how much minimally it will cost, why don't they pay for the extra hours and the hours for the concierge and the hours for the custodians, and incorporate the charges for whatever function they want to have. So people who aren't going to be using the clubhouse Saturday night and Sunday night won't get hit with it in our monthly maintenance charges. That's it.
Just one follow-up with Carol. Since, the zoning board has already stated they will not notice this next meeting, if we could just keep it on our records a few days before, send a notice out to the residents, alerting them to the meeting, and again, that morning of the meeting as a reminder that the meeting is happening.
Yes, we'll put it on the calendar.
It's
Thank you.
very important. Thank you, Tom, for,
Just keep in mind that if I go to the zoning board meeting, I am speaking as a resident of Monroe. I cannot speak for the board. Understand that.
yes,
Thank you.
we understand. Lolly Reich, 3 Wellfleet, 2 things. I want to thank you for bringing up McDonald's again, because Burger King is coming to Jamesburg, to the old bank. And once they come, they are going to, McDonald's is even going to want to come here more. So we really have to show up. Anyway, I have 2 things. Oh, the management office. I don't know how many people are up there now, but I've called a couple of times. We've been calling since 2 years ago with the ruts in the grass. And I left another message beginning of the week. Nobody calls back. So I would hate to think that this is what's going to start. We need a response. So, okay.
Can you tell me what extension you left that message on?
On Renata's,
On Renata's extension?
I asked for, yeah, resident services.
And do you know what day? Just,
No,
you don't. It was this week, though.
it's two days ago. And I called
I-
on Monday and then I called again on Wednesday.
So you left 2 messages. She was out
Yes.
yesterday, but you left 2 messages.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Since Ort and Hadassah was mentioned, we are a Greenbrier organization that is a national organization. Both of them are national. So if that's considered not a Greenbrier organization, all of our members come from here. And I just wish that you would give that a second look. And we're not requesting every night. We're requesting 1 meeting a month besides what we pay for or whatever. It's very important. Our members come from here. And like I said, they can't walk, they can't see. And we have to schlep all the way, in case you don't know what schlep is. We have to go all the way to the senior center, which is a distance. Now it's all right. But come the winter, we have a problem. So whatever. Thanks very much.
No one else coming to the mic. I'm sorry. Couldn't see you. Who else is back there? Anybody else?
Yeah, 2 more people.
Okay, after the next speaker, we'll close it.
Okay.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Okay, Eileen Carpenter, 23A Rutland. I first want to thank Joe for being at that meeting for McDonald's. I have to tell you, I was there and I listened for the 3 hours and then I went to the lot and I looked at what they think they want to do. And it is scary because what is going to happen is nobody's going to be able to get out. Everybody's going to have to go down to Federal Road to come around. It is going to be a disaster. I promise you. Okay, so I really want to thank you. I will be there May 28th. And I do want to talk to you about something. I think I have a thing. Anyway, I mostly wanted to talk about Zoom. And you did say we have the night meetings. We're not having them every day. And people who can't go out at night can certainly get on in Zoom. Last month, I didn't feel well, so I went on Zoom. and I had questions, you know, I always have questions, so I'm asking the questions and people are asking me questions, and nobody on Zoom's questions get asked. So I'm going to suggest at these meetings, and I don't know if this one's on Zoom or not. Honestly, I don't. It is? Okay, that the person monitoring, we do every 2 questions here and 1 question from Zoom or something like that, so the people are not disenfranchised who come on, who want to use Zoom. So I think we need to figure out a process where the Zoom questions can also be answered. I just think that's a good idea. So I don't know. Call me silly. Anyway,
I
the
just want to
women's
make,
locker room. Okay. I go to the consortium gym, which used to be at Princeton and Old Bridge and Central State. And they have indoor, outdoor carpeting there. And I'm wondering, have we ever considered that idea of indoor, outdoor carpeting? Has anyone ever considered it, thought about it in the locker rooms? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not, you know, I'm not a scientist, but you know, if they can do it and they've not had a problem, maybe there's something there. I mean, I don't know. Those strips, I think, are not gonna bode well. That's my gut feeling, but I'm not a scientist. Okay. Excuse me. And also, and this makes me crazy every time I go in there, the handicapped shower in the women's locker room has the shower up there. So you need to reach up to get it down. And if it's down, you can't put it up. And that makes me insane because I don't know where people got the idea that a handicap shower should have the shower up there. If it could possibly be moved, that would be a wonderful thing. Yeah. I mean, you know, okay, that's it. But thank you. And I do appreciate, I can see how hard you guys are working. And I know we are a difficult organization. Oh, Saturday night. Senior Social has Saturday nights every other month. I don't know how much they pay. I don't know how it works. But yeah, Senior Social has Saturday night events every other month. So who pays the cost? Yes, they do. Whatever it is, twice a year. Who pays for it? How much does it cost? I don't know. But I think you could come up with a number and say, okay, you want to have a Saturday event? You know, this is what it'll cost and you can have it. Whatever it is, it's twice a year, but I don't know what they're paying.
I can
What-
tell you,
No, tell me.
a club that uses the ballroom on the Saturday night when we are not usually open pays $300. A resident that is not a club pays $800.
Okay, so basically the cost would be $300 if a club wanted to have a Saturday night event. Okay, I don't think that's horrible if you're going to have a big event with a lot of people, but you know, it's something to, you know, here's a target. That's all, you know.
Okay.
I don't think it should be open all the time. I think it should only be open when there is an event. Absolutely. So
All right,
I'm done. I'm
thank
sorry.
you.
I
didn't
just
mean
want to add one
It's
thing.
okay.
I just want to,
Last speaker.
all right, I just want to add one comment to one of your questions. The Zoom is monitored and every question is answered. We don't read those. Well, I'm sure there were questions answered because Susie is very, very good at answering. Okay, so we do monitor it and we do try to answer every question. We can start reading the questions, but then we're going to limit the questions in the room because we only have so much time.
Okay, can we hold on this? And, all right,
Okay, I'm Linda Radwood, 76 Chichester Road. I just want to take a second for just something that the young lady was reminded me of a story about a man who had a butcher shop and had just gotten a whole big side of beef. And he knew that his customer coming in was a betting person. And he kept saying to his friend, I'm going to give you your dinner if you can tell me and reach down, take the meat down. And the guy said, no, I'm not betting. Well, this went on for a few minutes. And finally, the butcher said, I can't believe this. You're such a betting man. Why won't you at least try? And the answer was, please, your stakes are too high. So on that cheery note, let's get down to real business. And the real business is that I do agree with the people from Hadassah and Ort who really would like appreciation for all they do, even though they are national organizations, both of them. They've been around for many, many years. They do worldwide help for many people. My husband also, when he fell in Israel, wound up in a Hadassah hospital. Thank goodness they were there for us. And so we have, believe it or not, for people who don't know about Ort, we have two families here whose the gentlemen in the family have gone through our Ort schools in Europe. And so they had a good life, self-respect, and are our neighbors. So please don't think of us as outsiders. We're an important group to the world, and we would appreciate a little help from our friends and neighbors here. And on a different note, my own way, I have a little thing, the board is not going to be happy with me right now, but here it goes. I came to two meetings, the one when we were being told about the management company. I came to the second meeting along with a filled place of people who were going to meet the management group and hear what they're going to do for us. And as a result, all of a sudden, we all found out that they had already signed a contract. Now, when you're telling me that you're going to merge, this has been an issue as long as I've lived here, since 97. My husband, who was president of the WOA board, not the WOA board, the Greenbrier board, years ago, fought tooth and nail to get the vote, to have everything be one. You have my personal vote, but I would appreciate when you call a meeting, please call the meeting. Let everybody have their say, and don't let it find out that it has already been a done deal. We want to be transparent, please. And thank you for all your help.
Hi, okay, let me just tell you that nothing is a done deal. The way the merger has to go, and it will be explained at meetings by the boards. 66 2/3% of this community have to vote for the merger or it doesn't pass. They're gonna set up presentations. If you don't vote, it's a no vote. And my point is, it is not something that this board just decides we want to do, and that's it. The community will meet with the community, we will tell them, and that'll be it.
You are the last speaker of the evening. So please, we've announced before that we were closing it. So I don't know when you
Yeah.
came in. Yeah.
This is actually going to help you. Maria DeLucia, 85A Winthrop. Within the last year, Jose received notification over here that my battery was running low. We made an appointment. He came over, he changed my battery. I was not charged. Nor should we be charged for a battery that controls the fire and everything else. I was not charged for the battery. So that's,
Fire.
it was the
anything to
large
do
battery in my
fire,
closet,
the
in the
large
closet.
battery is free, yes.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right, come up. If you could, I mean,
I attended a meeting last year here. Charles LeBeau's 10 Ramsey Way. Is my microphone on? Okay. I attended a meeting several months ago regarding the slippy floors in the ladies, in the women's bathroom, locker room. And at that time, the board suggested that they would hire a company to spray the floor with a non-slipping agent. I came down here and I spoke at the microphone at that time, and I told them that why don't they get the maintenance people, buy cans of the stuff at Home Depot or Lowe's and spray it themselves. And Jamie Cullen said, agreed to that. She said, yes, that's what we're going to do. So obviously, it has never been done. It's still here.
no,
the
I
problem,
believe
and
that.
nobody's been taking care of it.
I do believe that was
Thank
done.
you.
There was I do believe there was a spray put on it and it just didn't work.
Is that right?
That's, yeah.
Okay, then I'm sorry I brought it up.
Right, I like you all, thank you all for attending tonight. I appreciate your attendance and, we greatly appreciate your input. With that, make a motion to adjourn by Jay, second.